play with tired hands. Red tide rolls in a cold breeze, steel boots on the sand, no ease. Propellers hum the Soviet quest, but the island ain't weak, not less. She-hot tanks roaring loud and clear, zombie hula girls, no fear. Tiki terrors rise, eyes ablaze, Soviets drown in the island haze. Island don't surf, island don't win, Tiki terrors won't let them in. She-hot tanks make the ground shake, zombie hula girls' hearts won't break. Under moonlight chants they clash, steel meets flame, bones will thrash. Cold War's heat, the island's grip, Tiki rage will never slip. Drums beat, wild waves take hold, Soviet shiver, hearts turn cold. In the depths of night they fail, Tiki terror's ancient tale. Island no surf, island no wind, Tiki terrors won't let them in. She-hot tanks make the ground shake, zombie hula girls' hearts won't break. Hearts won't break.
Howdy, howdy, it's your old pal, Tiki the Hut. Thanks for joining me again on another Too Early with Tiki. Alright guys, so you're like, why is this so crazy early? Well, I'm actually doing an emergency, Orc WoW stream. What I'm trying to do is trying to get 500 points ready. Trying to get 500 points ready, so I can actually maybe start playing some intro games of 40k. So I got plenty of orcs built, plenty of orcs kit bashed. Now I'm just trying to get them painted. So I'm like, hey, you know what? Unfortunately, Morning Glory's sick. That is unfortunate. Poor guy. Hopefully he's out there getting his chicken dinners. So I was like, you know what? I got time. I'm off work. I got plenty of orcs to paint. Well, let me sit down and actually start just tearing through these guys. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. I did recognize your voice in the daylight. You almost make me sound like a prostitute, which I don't appreciate because, they don't have to pay taxes. Wait. Are all prostitutes red corsairs? Interesting. This will also be a drinking stream. I got plenty of beer to last me. I'm good to go. No, I did not poison Morning Glory to do a daylight stream. That's not what this is. Alright, so, like I said, we have... So we got Blood Drive fully painted. We're going to put that truck to the side. That's our Goliath. We last were left off, we were painting the Speedwagon. We're probably gonna finish this guy. And now we have Face Crusher. Face Crusher is our converted Rhino. You have no power, Chansey. Yes, it is a daylight Tiki stream. Your eyes do not deceive you, Sam I Am Motorcycle Man. And Sam I Am, they're not built yet, but I did just get my Ork war bikes in. So I have 8 war bikes plus my Warkilla Death Trike. So I'll probably build those on another day because I have so many Orks built that I need to finish painting. Most recently, I did just finish converting my Ironjaw eBay Rescue Orks. I saw some AOS Ironjaws, and so I converted them over into just Slug of Choppa Boys. And much to Squid Cutter Sean's chagrin, I did finally figure out my basing. So I'm going to keep it simple. It's just going to be brown ring, and it's going to be so it's sprayed down with Zandari dust. I put down my oh, what is that paint he hates? So I put down my Badlands as texture paint on the corks. And then I give the whole thing a quick contrast of Argusso Dunes. So it actually ends up looking really nice. Kind of almost looks more like coffee grounds, kind of. You know what, Sam I will name the other Death Kill Award Trike after you, and I will give you your own squad of Ork bikes, and we'll call them the Mean Greens. Well played, Sean. Well played. So we've done a little bit of kit bashing with some of the 2018 boys kits. We've been using the extra Ork model to kind of build some mech boys. So in my army, I need plenty of mech boys. So you can hear this one, he has his kill saw. Built that out of 2 chain choppas. And then for his custom slugger, you know, his has a bayonet, it's belt fed, all sorts of fun stuff. And I've been using him to kind of test to make sure each truck I build, regardless of what vehicle I'm using, he can still fit in the back, you know, so you can still tell if there's someone in there. So. Alright, now it is a daylight stream, so it is a little bit louder, so you guys will probably hear like dogs in the background or sirens going by and all sorts of fun stuff. It's one of the many reasons why I usually stream at night. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the Face Crusher truck. It was a Chaos Rhino that I kind of rescued from eBay. So you can tell there's a little Eldar head hanging in the back. You got 2 grots kind of hanging out, searchlight in the back. Extra armor for the gunner. Some grenades, some extra ammo, some Ork skulls in the front. Hey, what's going on, Mal? So yeah, we're gonna be painting and catching up. I'd like to finish the Speedwagon. I'd like to knock out the Face Crusher. And I'd like to knock out these 2 squads of boys. I've already done the skin, I've already done the clothes. The reason being is, as much as I want to run, yeah, actually, you know, yeah, let me send an invite to Morning Glory. I'll send him an invite. So my goal is I have 1 mech done, right? 1 mech boy's done. And even though I want to run Cult of Speed, I think just for a learning 500-point game, I can actually just take a mech boy as my warlord. I can take 3 10-man squads of boys, and I can take 3 trucks, and I can just run Green Tide, and that's 500 points. Ah, so you got the reference. I like it. Alright, let me just adjust some stuff on my end here. Alright, yes, and I mostly do Bolt Action Comic 47, but as I was enjoying this break, this palette cleanse, I'm like, you know what, let me have some time during daylight, have the opportunity, let me go ahead and try and take advantage of it. Alright. I did send an invite to old Morning, but like I said, I know he's sick and he's probably playing PUBG, so no worries. Alright. You totally should, man. Like I said, Tron, I think they're, from what I'm seeing, from what I'm reading from different codexes, is they seem pretty edition proof, you know, like for me anyway, boys and trucks are boys and trucks. Like they can change some stuff around all they want, they can change points cost, but you know, it seems pretty normal. Hey, what's going on, Phoenix? Bonsai, yeah, you know, I'm still working on the Orks, still taking a little palette cleanse, but let me go and get started. Yeah, I was lucky, I got a BOGO deal on Kona beer, so I'm actually drinking some longboards. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the last iron jaw I had, and I got some bits to dig around, and I think I found, because I need to turn him into a rocket launcher, so I think I found some bits that kind of make it into a rocket launcher, so we're going to see what he looks like. Yeah, I was able to order a good bit of bits, actually. So looking through here, I think I found the rocket launcher I need to convert him. Yeah, I am absolutely doing Evil Sons, Cult of Speed, Speed Freaks. For my first 500-point game, only because I won't have any buggies or bikes at that point level, because I'm still waiting on my buggies to come in, actually. My custom Boom Blasters. I'll probably run, like, my intro game, and also to kind of keep it more simplistic and easy to learn. I'll probably run my first 500-point game, like, to learn 10th edition. I'm probably just going to run as Green Tide, and like I said, just 3 groups of 10 boys and 3 trucks with a mech. Just kind of call it a day, you know? Oh yeah, nothing like digging through some recently acquired bits. You never know what you're gonna find. I actually got super lucky. I'm actually headed up to Warpfire Games. If you guys aren't familiar with the place, they do sell a lot of stuff online. They're a pretty good area for, or a pretty good store for here in Florida, like Central Florida. They do a lot of bolt action and a lot of Warhammer 40k and AOS. They carry a lot of models in stock, and they actually have good tables. And it's not a general hobby store. It's a legit tabletop wargaming store, so you don't have to like elbow for room past the Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic players to try and get a table, you know. So I like going there. I like kind of giving them my business. I've already bought some models from them from a decent price, so I'm pretty happy. And they actually have a trade-in program, kind of similar to Noble Knight Games, I want to say, is the other one that I know who does it. I'm about to test it myself. I was recently digging in my terrain box, looking through some of my old Warhammer, sorry, not Warhammer, looking through some of my old Fallout Wasteland Warfare style terrain, which I have an unhealthy amount. I took a look and I just did like a rough calculation in my head because it's all from TT Combat. I'm like, ooh, I spent a lot. So yeah, I was a little so I was looking through that stuff and I found a box, a tectonic frag drill. I'm not sure if many of you guys remember what that terrain looks like for 40k. And the box is open, but I don't ever remember building it, so I went through it, and sure enough, all the sprue are intact and they're in there, sort of the instructions. I just took the wrapping off, I guess. So I was like, oh, okay. You know, so I took pictures and I sent it to Warfire Games, and they offered a pretty good value for it. So I'm probably going to go there and give it to them and trade that in for, you know, store credit and probably stock up on some bolt action, Conflict 47 stuff, and, you know, we'll see. Alright, so we found this arm. I kind of like this one. It looks kind of like a flash shooter, like a combi shooter with like a rocket launcher underneath, and I think that's going to be perfect. There is actually a rocket launcher, but I'm saving that for another group of 10 orcs that I'm building. Quick 100 shots, like if they don't give you a good price, I'll buy that. Hey, what's going on, Evan? Oh, thanks, man. Hey, Evan, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's the emergency WA stream. I'm trying to get 500 paint. I'm doing a 12-hour stream trying to get 500 points painted and ready. So, Squid Cutter Shot, without talking numbers, I will tell you, I saw one sealed sell for $220 on eBay. I bought it for like, I think 65 or 70 back in the day, like nothing too crazy. I think maybe I paid 80, I doubt it, but they're offering me like twice that, so. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the tectonic frag drill, it is a massively huge piece of terrain. Like it is tall. And I think the reason why the value went up is because it's out of print. So all right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna carve this underarm off. You know what? I have it set on my mode. Let me back that light down a little bit for you guys. All right, there we go. So I'm going to carve this under paw off right here, kind of make it smooth, because I'm going to be replacing his spear arm with it. Yeah, the funny thing is I already have plenty of bolt. I have all the bolt action and Conflict 47 stuff I could ever want. I know that sounds weird, but I have a lot. I have a lot of Imperial Japanese stuff. It's kind of really the only army I really collect. So I may actually, who knows? I'll take a look what they have there. I may end up getting Orc stuff. One thing I'm looking at, it looks like they have a good deal on a Necromunda Cargo 8 hauler. So if they have that, I may get that, and that may be what I kit bash a battle wagon out of. So because I'm just using a blade to try and cut this off and kind of doing it a little bit off camera, hopefully you guys don't mind too much, just for safety reasons. So I've looked at a Stampa, I really have. My problem is Stampas aren't fast. If there was a giant wheeled version of a, I guess I could probably make that. If there was a giant like wheeled version of a Stampa, I would totally do it. Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking. Almost like a Megazord, you know, from like all the different Zoids coming together to make one. You know, that would be awesome. Yeah, honestly, if you think about it, imagine like, because what's bigger than a Stampa? I think there's like Gargantua Stompers or something like that. But imagine like for feet, it uses Baneblade chassis. Like, imagine its feet were just Bane, like Stormlord chassis. That would be awesome. So, in the you sucking kid, Chancey, you have no power here. You're awfully brave for a man who doesn't have the power to mute me or kick me. I'm kidding, buddy. I would never. Well, it's funny if any of you guys ever played the. It wasn't as good as the other Twisted Metal games, but the Twisted Metal that came out, I think in like 2012. I think when you were fighting against the Sweet Tooth like clan, like the Sweet Tooth gang, one of their final bosses was this giant. It actually reminds me a lot more if you've ever seen, and they're actually called this, by the way. If you've ever seen a crawler, we have them here in Florida. We use them at space launch facilities, so when we're moving rockets around. If you've ever seen like, man, any kind of space launch, actually, yeah, any space launch in the last like 40 years, you see these giant. They look just like the sand crawlers that the Jawas use in Star Wars. You know, you have 4 big old treads, and these things just carry missiles back and forth to the launch pads. So it was basically like a converted sandcrawler. It was this huge, awesome base that could actually like launch cars. So it had like a, it had. Well, I don't want to steal all of Mordian's bits. You know, he does his own unique thing. I'm highly inspired, but I don't want to copy his gigs. Yeah, kind of like Mortal Engines. Yeah, so imagine like this giant, because I like the sandcrawler design, because imagine like a giant sandcrawler design with 4 big old treads, right? And there's a platform on top of the treads. Because the whole point is, imagine lore-wise, imagine a whole Evil Sunz tribe that moves in this huge moving sandcrawler and has like engines, or has motor pool and mechanic shops, like mech shops inside of it. And so the mech boys are busy building a whole bunch of new cars and war tracks and war trucks and all sorts of stuff. Whenever they're ready, they literally just open it up and just drop it and it hits the ground rolling and just runs out. So it literally has like an onboard factory and mech shop, and they just keep creating trucks and just launching them out of this whole like sandcrawler thing. Yeah, very, very similar to Mortal Engines. Yes, yes. No, you're correct. That is a very good reference, very good idea. I've only seen that movie once, but I played that. I played a lot of the Twisted Metal games. Obviously, I'm big into, you know. Yeah, I plan to actually put some Ork Rakas. I found some really cool 3D sculpt that I'm gonna get printed. I plan to put them on my battle wagons. Orktal engines, yeah, Steven, I'm stealing that. Yep, it's gonna be the Orktal engine. Yep, that's gonna be my. I'll follow all the rules for the. when I end up making my Gargant, I'll follow all the rules, but I think I'm gonna make it as the Orkdal engine. Yeah, if you've seen the trailer, I think it conveys it well enough. Yeah. I know it's taking a little while. All I'm doing right now is just kind of trimming the hand off the actual this combo launcher. Yeah, so one thing, and I appreciate those of you guys who answered it in the in Mordian's Discord. I was looking at what I'm going to build my fourth truck out of because I really like captured Imperial vehicles for trucks, and I was actually thinking about taking the centerline wheel. You know, I'm thinking about taking this wheel and its opposite off of this truck, and that gives me two wheels to play with. And I was going to get a Torox and turn the Torox into a half track. And I was going to use the turret from the Torox to put on the Cargo 8 hauler so I can actually build a battle wagon. You know, that way I buy, you know, 2 kits and can build 2 vehicles kind of thing. Yes, this stream is not endorsed by Kona Brewery, but it is delicious if you've never had Kona beer. But I will be drinking plenty. All right. I know it's a little slow going. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sure I don't slice a finger open, you know, in the first hour of a 12-hour stream trying to do this kit bash. Actually, you know what? Let me grab my kit bashing secret tool here. Alright, that helped a little bit. That gave me a little bit of a shortcut to kind of work on this thing. Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. Yeah, you can buy. The only problem, so the problem with that, Steven, is I was looking around because I was asking people. I was like, hey, I can't find Toroxes. When I find a Torox, it's like $90. Like, I don't remember Toroxes being that much, even with inflation and all the other stuff going on. And it turns out, I guess Torox are. So I guess it turns out Toroxes are popular, or they're meta or good for the guard. So I guess they're selling out, which is fine. I get it, supply and demand. But I was just like, shit. There goes my half track idea. I may just end up picking up a Chimera, taking the turret off that and using that to kind of make like the turret for the battle wagon. It's not as big, but you know, what can you do? I can always build a barrel. Barrel's easy to make and get like a big ass, like, you know, those big straws from like a shake or an ice cream place, you know, those big old straws. So probably get that to make the actual cannon, and then I could just literally rip out the back of the Chimera and turn it into a another truck. It's just I'll have 2 truck with treads, but not a big deal because all my cars are gonna have wheels, so I don't mind having some of my trucks having treads. It's fine. And if you've ever seen the Ripsaw tank, it's pretty fast. Treads don't really slow you down. You can go fast with treads. But yeah, because the Wyvern and the Hydra are on the Chimera chassis. So, you know, I imagine if you cut out a lot of the armor and a lot of the weight of a Chimera, and just obviously hit it with Orc magic, it'll go pretty fast. Yeah, that's how I got this guy for, I think, like, I got a incomplete damaged, quote unquote chaos. There's nothing chaos about it, like it didn't come with any spiky bits. It was a damaged chaos rhino. I got it for like 30 bucks. And there's enough for me to kind of build it and kit bash it to all hell. I thought it'd be a little bit easier to, yeah, that's one thing I have been having fun is kit bashing all these orcs, especially when I was like kind of doing the Iron Jaw. So the one thing I kind of worried, I mean, I'm not that worried about is I ran out of like sluggas, you know? So I'm using shootas, you know, but they're clearly choppa boys, so it just looks like they have choppas and shootas, which I know Warhammer 40k isn't that WYSIWYG, especially not with people swapping armies all the time, so you know, I'd be like, hey man, here's my list. Every boy you see is a choppa slugga boy. You know, like every single one. Even if it looks like they have a shoota, it's a slugga, you know. Slugga choppa. Oh, thanks Baron, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm hoping in 12 hours. It's not a 24-hour stream, but I'm hoping in 12 hours I can actually get at least 500 points painted. We'll be painting a lot of boys though, a lot of orcs. Yeah, so that's the thing. I can't cut down each barrel, and I'm thinking I probably will. I'm looking at how big these guns are, so yeah, I probably am going to cut down the barrels to make them sluggas. I was thinking about that the other day, because that's what I did for, where's my other custom mech? Oh, here he is. So yeah, for his, I took a shoota, cut down the barrel, and glued it back on. So I think I'll probably end up doing that for these guys, just to make them look better, you know? And only because the back of this is actually going to be visible, I actually have to kind of clean it up a little bit. It's just a 12-hour stream twice. Excellent math. Well done. I'm sure your taxes were no problem at all. I'm doing well, man. Yeah, I'm doing an out of nowhere emergency daytime stream. I usually watch morning streams and Morning Glory, and I paint and do all my stuff, but he's not feeling well, so I figured I'm painting and kit bashing anyways. I might as well stream it. I have a little bit of time coming up, and I want to play a game of Warhammer 40k 10th edition, so I'm trying to get 500 points ready, and I'm the kind of guy where, and I don't judge other people, this is just my own thing, I like to play with painted models, you know, so I'm trying to see if how fast I can finish 500 points. And my 500 point list that I can have ready, because my custom boom blasters aren't here yet that I ordered from Etsy. So I can have 30 boys, 3 trucks, and a mech boy. Running Green Tide with 1 enhancement, that comes out to about 500 points. Alright, so we got his spear arm off. Let's clean it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm with you, Steven. I think kit bashing is probably one of my 49,000 buys a lot of bulldozer armor. Yeah, he's not wrong. So yeah, something that's been nice for me, and the reason why this orc army is going up so fast, I'm not spinning like crazy. I'm getting a lot of these eBay rescues. A lot of people are just selling orcs. I guess I timed it just right. Like I came in right as the DACA. What do you call that? Detachment got nerfed, so we're just selling off their orcs. And I was happy to stumble into these Iron Jaw guys. I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. They'll look different. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mute for that. I'll try and mute before I do a loud cut like that. There we go. All right, let me glue this kit bashed gun on, and I'll cut off its other hand and put a chop in it. Yeah, originally when I got all these guys, because they were bigger, but they're not like super bigger, I was just gonna run them all as knobs, you know, and just use them as knobs for my other orcs and things like that. But they just look different. They don't look necessarily bigger, but they just look a little bit different. Like they're about the same size, so. I decided, because I got them in a group of 10, I was like, alright, well I can turn one into a knob. I can give one a rocket launcher. Obviously it's a combi, like it's a flash gun, you know, with a little combi special, you know, with a little rocket underslung, but we'll count it as a rocket launcher, that's fine. I don't think the Soviets get their explosive dogs anymore, but they get all sorts of other stuff now, I think, so. That's a good use of those side doors. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's actually a really clever use for the truck side doors and side armor. It's actually really cool. Yeah, it's sad. I think the Soviets lost their bomb dogs, and the Imperial Japanese lost their Kurt Cobain anti-tank teams. Yeah, I was just looking at that about the armored orcs, the black orc team from Blood Bowl. Yeah, they actually look really good. 'Cause it's actually decently priced too, because you get a good amount of armored orcs and you get a whole bunch of little Gretchen too. So they're really cool looking Gretchen. So it's actually a kind of cool addition to an orc army. I'll take a look if the Soviets still get their bomb dogs in Common Forces. Let me take a look. They might actually. I'm not like 100%. I'm pretty sure they don't, but I'm not like 100% certain. So it's worth a look up. Let me take a look real quick. Now I know the British get oh yeah, because yeah, you had me questioning. I was like, oh, Common 47. I was like, I don't know. So yeah, I looked it up. So the British have war dogs, but the Soviets lost their anti-tank dogs. Hey, what's going on, Russell? Yeah. I usually paint and kit bash during Morty and stream, and unfortunately he's out sick, so I figured, well, if I'm already painting and kit bashing anyways, I might as well, stream it. And right now I am kit bashing Orc. I'm kit bashing an Iron Jaw Orc, turning him into my rocket launcher. Alright, I think I found the hand I want to use for him. I think I'm going to go ahead and give him a... Ooh, let's see if I get the right one. Yeah. I think for him I'm going to actually use a little old school anti-tank. I'm sure you guys have all seen it before in the old school Dawn of War opening scene. You know, when that orc runs up and slaps the anti-tank mine or meta charge, whatever you want to call it. Multi-charge on the dreadnought. Alright, yeah, this hand should work perfect. Definitely make him look like the anti-tank or anti-armor guy in his squad. From what I understand, and I don't know much, but I believe Nah, I won't say that. I don't know if he's released this information to the public, but no, as far as I know, he's okay. He's just busy doing stuff. So, from what I understand, he's okay and just busy. I don't know if he's made what it wouldn't happen public or not. I'd rather err on the side of privacy. Yes, that sound you heard was the dreaded sound of something falling, so I had to go retrieve it. Worst part of the hobby, you know, where you finally found like that one piece that's rare and you finally get it done, and then boof, it falls off, and I swear when it hits the floor, it just takes the most inopportune vector and speed and just flies off where you can't find it. One of these days I'll learn not to kit bash over like open space, you know, always kit bash over like a box or something in case pieces go flying. Alright, so it's a little cartoonishly huge, but here's an orc with his gun with a rocket launcher, and then here's also with an anti-tank mine. Alright, so that is that 10-man squad officially done. I had to custom build a power claw and then custom kit bash that little rocket launcher. Oh yeah, Blood Axe Commandos are the way to go. Alright, so that being said, that is it. I still have 3 rescued eBay orcs left. They're all shooters. All my other rescued eBay orcs have been used and abused and kit bashed into all hell. They mostly end up being the gunners on my trucks. Like this guy, that guy, stuff like that. Alright. So we're gonna go ahead and move this guy back to where he was, just so we have a little bit more room. Move these boys. Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of his videos. Scholar Virginia. Actually, I really enjoy his bolt action style. You'll see me comment on his videos a lot. Yeah, I watch Morning Glory when he does it. I watch Zern, Scholar Virginia. I don't watch Bo. Let's see. What are they going to the bolt actions? Cinematic Tabletop. Huge fan of theirs. Just moving these orcs so I have more room to work on the wagon. Yeah, this is kind of like a, not really a master copy, but this is kind of what the orcs will look like when they're finalized. You know, so I just went with a brown base, desert basing, you know, simple. Orange clothes, yellow on the tip of the rockets, red guns. I know I got room for me to lean my elbow while I paint. Nice. All right, so I know we're gonna have to hit the tires, tires and fuel tank. We finished the engine, some touch-ups there. We finished most of the actual crew, maybe with some minor touch-ups. We'll see. Got the grots in the back. Probably a little bit more work up here. Get this front part, and I say get the tires. I think we'll be done with this one. We'll move on to the third truck. All right, take it easy, man. Appreciate you checking in. Alright, so we're going to try and do a 12-hour stream. We'll see. As I sit here, I'm like, yeah, 12-hour stream. And I'm like, ooh, 12 hours. Alright, I think I can do that. So we'll see. More importantly, we're going to try and get both these trucks painted, definitely. Should not be an issue. I remember that. Yeah, as many boys as you could fit in the back. I think it used to be the old rule. Yeah, I think that was back in the age when people just brought Tonka toy dump trucks. Hey, what's going on, Matthew? I think it's a decent song, but man, 12 hours of it, that might make someone go crazy. So I think I'm going to do this radiator chrome as well, and then just do the actual little things in red. Alright, so we're working on the radiator right now. Getting that all shiny as chrome. Alright, nice. Now we'll just go back and hit those things red. I think about doing the front bar hand too, but I don't know. I think I may leave it. I think I may leave it red actually. I think it's good enough. Really, what I have most of on this thing, because even the orc. Oh, I got the gun, so I gotta do the gun. Gotta do the big shooter. Man, yeah, I'm so sad I wasn't around, or I wasn't in the hobby for Gorka Morka. That sounds like so much fun. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it. Well, like I said, I'm already trying to get a Crusade game started. I think if I tried to also do a Gorka Morka, I think people would go crazy, or I would. One, two. We're doing right now is we're painting the ammo box for the big shooter. Going with green, like OD green, like he just stole it from some Imperial Guard supply dump. Red ones absolutely do go faster. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, though, I'm not gonna lie. So the Goliath was definitely my favorite. So the truck's just, I mean, it's not bad, but it's a truck, you know, right out of the box. I built it for the instructions, very un-orky, you know, used to Imperial Guard stuff. I built Valkyries by oh man, a lot of Valkyries. So I built the truck by the box, turned out alright. Ripped off some parts to kit bash a Goliath. The Goliath turned out cool. I really like the Goliath, and then I saw the Rhino. I'm like, alright, let's see what I can do with the Rhino. And I like the way the Rhino turned out. You know, I just don't want to show up with like 4 actual Ork trucks from the Ork truck kit. You know, I'm like, ah. Yeah, I've actually seen some of those old Gorka Morka style like buggy trucks. I may actually get one. They look pretty cool. Alright, so there's the ammo box for the big shooter. Now I just need to paint the barrel for it, and I think it'll be good. Anybody else working on some models? Anybody else building or painting? Man, looking at the poll, not a lot of people like. Oh, so I was actually talking to Sean earlier today, and I finally figured out what it is I didn't like about tournament style, you know, standard issue Warhammer 40k terrain. And I know what it reminds me of, and I know why it bugs me. It reminds me of those really shitty, cheap laser tag terrains. You know, not like the super cool ones where they like really went in depth and built all sorts of cool stuff, but I'm talking like your local skating rink or arcade like slaps on a real quick little, you know, laser tag room, you know. That's what it looks like. That's what the that terrain reminds me of. The L and 7 shape standard issue quote unquote ruins, you know, that's fair for both sides. Like this just looks like laser tag. Like really terrible laser tag. But that makes sense because it goes back to what I always thought, where 40k is starting to look a lot more, if you're familiar with the paintball world. I don't know if paintball's a big thing worldwide, but it is here in the States. So you have like Woods Ball, which is where they build like kind of more, again, you play out in the woods. That's the name, Woods Ball. And there's also more like buildings, like they'll build castles or forts, or they'll be like ruined cars, and it's a lot more kind of like realistic. Yeah, a little bit more realistic style stuff. You know, like one team's in the castle, one team attacks the castle kind of thing. That's more Woods Ball, right? But then for competition, they came up with Speedball. So what Speedball is for paintball, Speedball is played with inflatable cover, and they're played in these standard issue sized little arenas, you know, that are very easy to replicate anywhere. You have these triangular covers on the right side that we call Doritos. You have your pyramids in the middle, and then you have your long cylindrical cover on the left side, which we call the snake. You know, and it's like, hey, how are you breaking up your team? Who's going Doritos? Who's going to the pyramid? And who's going to be the snake god? You know, who's going left to go prone? That's why I call it the snake. So as long as cylindrical like a snake, and if you're a snake god, if you're playing on the left side, you'd have to go prone. Yeah, I did play paintball for a while. You'd have to go prone and kind of like crawl for a while. You know, Doritos, you'd be real quick about popping left and right, you move fast. And then pyramids, you're kind of mostly just like the base of fire. So you had 3 lanes, 3 different types of cover, right? It was perfectly symmetrical on both sides, same amount of people per team, same type of guns per team. So it's a good way of testing who's the best, you know, speedball style paintballer. But it was nothing like Woods Ball, you know? So that's what I'm kind of looking at Warhammer 40k. I like Warhammer 40k, but I like Woods Ball. You know, I like the old lore. I like, you know, I want to do asymmetrical fights. I like apocalypse games. You know, I like, you know, painted models. I like tables that look like 40k and stuff like that, you know? There's nothing wrong with tournament play. It just reminds me of speedball from paintball. It's fair. Everything's constantly nerfed and tweaked, and the terrain is perfectly symmetrical. There's nothing wrong with it, but nice, man. Look at you. Look at us. We're rhino buddies. My rhino looks a little bit different, you know. It's got a boy in the front with a big shooter. The driver's got his axe. He's also got some. So this is one option I kind of liked. You know, putting these grenades in the front. You know, that way they're within reach of the driver, so you can grab a grenade and hunk it at somebody if he needs to. You know. And then in the back, you know, because I always want to. I'm a big fan of WYSIWYG. You know, so I want to make sure I have my grot. There's a rule called grot riggers. You know, where they're running around, they're repairing the vehicle. So I want to make sure I actually had mine. And also I wanted to like glue the back hatch open to make it a little bit longer. So that way it's kind of as close to the same profile as a truck as possible. You know, it's not shorter. So now I got Grots back here kind of hanging out. Alright, let me get working on that barrel. So for the barrel of my gun, so for barrels and ammo, like I said, again, I'm not a very good painter. I do like a 3 foot, or to be honest, more like a 5 foot rule. But something I like to do for my ammo and for my barrels, like I do for mufflers or anything like that, anything that's kind of heat treated, or for like brass, I like to use Balthazar Gold. I'm actually a huge fan of it. Hey, what's going on, Darius? Or Dario, what's going on, man? Yeah, I'm actually streaming during the day for once. I know it's crazy. Usually the stream I watch while I work on my stuff, it's not going on, so I'm like, I might as well stream while I'm working on my stuff. Oh, is it a stick chukka? Okay, well, that's even better then. Yeah, that actually works even better. That's perfect. I thought it was just like a rack to hold grenades for the driver, you know? That's even better. I mean, you would honestly see those like an old M113 style APC. Happy accident. Yeah, your Calvary's gave me so many ideas, Dario. I absolutely love what you're doing over there on your channel, buddy. Yeah, I have I'm debating on what kit I'm going to use for the ram for the face crusher. I'm saving the rock grinder from the Goliath truck for my Cargo 8 battle wagon, you know, for the Death Rolla. But I'm not sure what I'm going to put on the front of the Rhino. It's either going to be like nothing but like toothpick spikes, you know, or it's going to be some type of ram. I'm still not sure yet. So I like to use this for gun barrels to kind of show like getting hot and stuff like that. No. Oh yeah, yes it does. No, you're right. Yeah, and I'll show you what I do with the other one. Yeah, so the other girl option for the truck I put on the front of the Goliath. So this is probably one of my favorites. This is Blood Drive. All right, we'll finish up on this gun here soon and take a look and see what else. Oh, the tires. Yeah, I forget that's what we gotta do in the trucks. The tires. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, I do recommend the Goliath. The Goliath makes a great truck. There's that room in the back, so you can put your knob or whatever hero you have leading that unit, like a pain boy or a mech boy. So yeah, it ended up being perfect. And with that that special grill, it makes it a little bit longer. So the thing is, I'm trying to go for the roughly same length as a truck. That way, no one like accuses me of modeling for advantage. All right, now let's work on these tires. So to keep the brand consistent, this will probably be the last time I paint Orks on this live stream. I don't think I'll live stream on my other channel. All these videos are going to go on my other channel. I do it's the Tiki 2 Atomic Boogaloo. It's where I'm going to put all my post-apocalyptic Fallout, Warhammer 40k Ork stuff, you know, because it's very Mad Max style. All my Gaslands content, Zona Alpha, all this stuff's going to be on the other channel. Trying to keep this one just for Bolt Action Comic 47, but I had it set up to stream from this, so I figured why not. Nice, John, I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you, sir. I did learn a cool trick from Sean. I learned a way to get a better yellow is to do a base coat of pink underneath. Definitely gonna try that when I do my grenades and rockets next. Thanks, man. Well, dude, same with you, man. You're doing so well on your channel. I watch a lot of your videos, if not all of them. I've really been liking your work with Calvary lately, Dario. So keep it up, man. Yeah, I just happened to do a random Mad Daylight stream, so I'm glad you caught it. Glad you hopped in, man. I'll be getting back to Bolt Action Conflict 47. I got the parts I needed to finish up my American MP army for Fall of Berlin. So that's why I'm like, oh, let me work on Orks one last time before I make the jump back to Bolt Action Conflict 47. Then I'll work on these guys on my own time. There we go. There's a. I'll go back and hit the spikes with chrome, but there you go. There's a nice tire. Nice. It's like once you paint it, you realize that they have like metal on their tires, which is kind of cool. Yeah, same. After this stream, you'll see me jump to finish my MPs. Luckily, there's not a lot of troops. There's not that much to paint, luckily. And this is the middle wheel that I may end up clipping off to if I can get my hands on a Torx, which I don't think I can. But even if I have to cut it off, at least it'll already be painted, you know? Yeah, and that's what this guy is. You know, that's the standard truck. I agree with you on that too. Yeah, you definitely need one because it's just iconic, you know. CRK, I'm hoping in this Battle of Berlin game with all my trucks, because I had to pay the points to take them as like the biggest trucks ever. Hoping that somebody else will ride in my trucks too. Hopefully I can drive somebody into battle, you know? I just forgot this back tire. I like how every tire is different. Because of course it would be, you know? Not bad. We're getting there. We're getting there. Trying to paint well with speed, paint quick, see how far we can get. I don't know if I'll be able to get all 3 squads of boys. I'm hoping I'll at least get 2 squads. That would be nice. Debating if I should paint the 3rd truck next or go to work on the boys. I feel like by the time I finish this Orc army, they're gonna drop like 11th edition and go, son of a bitch. They'll have to change everything all over again. That's exactly happened when I was working on my American army. I was like, alright, cool, about to finish these MPs. Like, and new book drop. I'm like, every time. Every time. There's our left side tires done. The boys. Take a little bit of a beer break, cool off. Yeah, I'm staying away from a lot of the more, I guess, maybe not outlandish, but trying to stick to some of the more common, or which you might say, like, yeah, I guess more common orc units. Like, usually my warlords for the smaller one's going to be a mech, or if anything, it's going to be a death killer war trike, so basically just like a war bus on a bike. You know, boys and trucks. And then later on, just all the different types of buggies. I'll be bringing lots of mechs and lots of pain boys, depending on how big of army. You know, for like 2K or 3K, but probably not gonna do any weird boys. No big mech with shotguns. I think it's probably one of the coolest weapons in 40K. being able to shoot grots into people is absolutely hysterical. I wanted to bring Storm Boys. Okay, so here's the thing I thought was kind of weird. Like, I liked Storm Boy. I like Storm Boys a lot. But my only issue with Storm Boys is they're not speed freaks, which I understand because they already have a bunch of other special rules that are already Storm Boys, you know. But I figured if you put a rocket on your back and you fly into combat, that's about as fast as you can go. Like, that would make you that would make you a speed freak. So that would be cool for the Cult of Speed. If, you know, they got the speed freak, or if like they had a special rule that applied to them, would be kind of cool. But I think there's an Orc detachment, which I'm really curious about, because I know there's a lot of guard players, you know, probably in the chat as well. I'm curious if there's any guard players or any players in the chat who have tried the tactic team, or what's that? Hold on, let me look at what the detachment's called. It's called something hilariously orky. There's like somewhat military. Oh, Tactical Brigade. So I'm pretty sure Tactical Brigade Storm Boys gain the battle line keyword. So I think you could actually take like a legit. No, because no, it's the it's the Warlord that would get you. With the exception of the Warlord, with the Tactical Brigade, you can almost have a full airborne army. Sadly, the Orcs don't have any kind of aerial transport, but with that, I was going to say, because if Storm Boys become battle line, you can just take six units of Storm Boys, then just take a whole bunch of DACA jets, burn Obamas, and all sorts of badass stuff. You could have like a full Orc Air Force, but, you know, you still have to have some type of unit on the ground for your Warlord. Alright, now let's work on these back tires. The Chinork. I wish there was a Chinork. So like I said, I'm playing around with setting up my own crusade, so bouncing some rules off you guys. How do you guys feel about legends? Like overall, how do you feel about legend units? So I feel like if I allow them in the crusade, I don't know how out of control things are going to get, but at the same point in time, it finally gives people a chance to play their legend units. The Chinork's not real, he can't hurt you. Oh my god, now I have to look up a Chin Orc. Holy shit, it's like you can't be serious, but he is. Alright, so we can find a Chin Orc. Oh my god, he was serious. It was a real unit. Why do we not have Chin Orks anymore? Was a Forge World thing? Oh my god. What? Okay, so a Warcopter, otherwise known as a Chin Ork. It's a large troop-carrying rotary aircraft used by Orks. Oh my god, is that not the absolute coolest thing you've ever seen? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, it was an Imperial armor. Oh, man. Does GW just hate money? Like, do they not want to 3D, like, do they not just want to print money? Because imagine that detachment, you could have literally these Chin Orks, you know, that could carry your Warlord, a bunch of other stuff, and you could have battle line Storm Boys, and then have a whole bunch of DACA jets. Well, could they really have taken from me if I didn't know it was there, you know? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think they try so hard to balance tournaments and stuff like that, and I think it is almost next to impossible to balance flyers. You know, so I think they just gave up on that. So I think they're just slowly taking out every flyer. Like, I remember when all the flyers came out in 7th, when the Space Marines got like 5 or 6 different flyers. This was crazy times. Like, I'm happy that Death Watch still have their Corvus Black Star, but ooh, that's close. So Death Copters will probably stay in because they really run the gambit between Death Cop. Okay, so with flying units, yes, they are flying, but they're almost more like speeders. You know, it kind of like occupies the same area as like speeders to do for Space Marines. Like, they're flying, but they're almost more like gyrocopters. They fly close to the ground. They use their rotor blades for like melee damage. They are flyers, but you know what I mean? Like, they're not high flying, you know, not like a DACA jet or a Burn Obama. Or a Vendetta. Or a Vulture. Yeah, I couldn't believe I hadn't heard the name. When you said Chin Ork, I thought you were joking. But yeah, Warcopters were absolutely real. Mind-blowing. Which is weird, because I only have, I guess I have the third, I have a 3rd edition codex, I have a 5th, 6th edition codex, and I have the 10th edition codex. But now it makes sense that it's an Imperial armor. I'm like, okay. Speaking of one of the heroes I'm sad the Orcs lost, I actually would 100% run him in my army is Grotsnik, the Mad Doctor, the guy who made Gaskell. Like that, what a cool Orc hero. Like, that's a cool character model I'd like to run. Usually I don't like character models, but man, that'd be cool. He's probably awesome. so far from all I've read, and I'm about a quarter way through reading the Gaskell book. And yes, reading, not audiobook. Nothing against audiobooks. I like audiobooks too. I don't drive near as much as I used to, you know, so I actually have more time to read. And because what I do at work involves a lot of computer screens, and I also enjoy video games, so when I need a good break, I like to sit down and actually like read something on print, you know, not stare at a screen. Which is also why I like building and painting models too, you know. All right, well, so I don't share my YouTube information with people, I guess, in my real life. With the exception, I've met people like RK and Irish in real life. But, I usually don't talk about my YouTube channel with, like, my, like, civilian, normal job and stuff like that. You know, I keep things compartmentalized, but, I did just get a text, so good news is there's overtime available. So they're gonna contact and let me know if they need me to come in and work overtime. If so, this may be a shorter stream than I like. I may probably stream till about maybe another hour and 15 minutes. So it may just be a shorter stream. I wanted to do a 12-hour stream and probably end up being a 2-hour stream, but they do need me to come in, unfortunately. So having to come in and work is unfortunately bad. This is why I don't stream during the week, because I'm usually super busy. I just want to try it real quick, but good news is it's overtime. So, you know, who doesn't love overtime? And yeah, my work week starts on Saturdays, so yeah, I'm already at the overtime. I'm not sure if overtime is like a universal thing internationally. So, if you guys understand what overtime is, anytime you go over 40 hours, it's usually like time and a half, depending on where you work at. So, luckily, there's not a lot of people who do what I do. Not that it's special, but I will wait for his text. If he wants me to come in, I'll let him know I'll come in an hour and 15 minutes, and I'll finish a nice little 2-hour stream. So see what all we can get done. Yeah, maybe able to actually finish this truck. But hey, you know, at least we attempted a daylight stream. Now we know why Tiki doesn't stream during the week. I am a government hooker, so you know that's how that works. Oh, not bad. Getting the tires in, Nice. That was awesome. My wrecking ball actually grabbed one of my orcs. I guess it works. Keep on trucking. All right. Yep. That's it. That's gonna be the shirt. All right. Okay, I'm stealing that idea if that's okay. On the merch store, I'll put like an orc shirt up, you know? And I think that's what it's gonna be. I think it's just gonna say, keep on trucking. On the front, it'll have the Rided Turtle for Gork and Mork, and on the back, it'll say Keep on Truckin'. I could say actually, I think once I finish these 500 point orcs, I think I'll be excited to get back into a little bit smaller and easier to paint Imperial Japanese soldiers, or I guess I gotta do American MPs. But yeah, bolt action. I will say this: bolt action is easier to paint, in my opinion, with my limited skill set and the way I paint. Bolt action is easier to paint than Warhammer 40k. You mean like doing transfers? I have transfer sheets. I'm actually thinking about putting them on. Is that what you're talking about, Russell? Putting the transfers from the transfer sheet on the vehicle? Oh, yes. I do have some stickers up, actually. I actually do have several Tiki stickers. There's some of the few things on the merch store that are still in stock. I was redesigning the shirts when they sent me an email saying, hey, we're about to restock those shirts. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then they didn't, so I'm just going to redesign the shirts and a shirt that they have more stock of, if that makes sense. But the stickers are actually still in stock. I need to order a whole bunch, so when I go to events, I can kind of just like pass them out, you know? As far as patches, I do have a Clash of the Caribbean patch for 2025, but yeah, I probably should do like a Tiki patch. I thought you meant for my trucks. I was gonna say I'm actually saving my decals for my transfer sheet. Yeah, give me a second. Give me a little while on that bag. I gotta fix it. I think either I got a bad one or I gotta just move that print up a little bit because you can't read the last line when it prints out. So give me about a couple weeks to fix the bag, and then definitely pick one up. Yeah, patch stickers aren't a bad idea. You know, as far as the decals in the truck, I was actually saving them for the Crusade. So like when they do cool stuff, I can actually add the decals to them, you know? I was actually watching a video from a guy. I think it has pretty cool Warhammer 40k stuff. Is like Paul is bad at stuff or whatever. He does a good job in his editing, and his videos are actually really humorous. But he brought up a good point about Crusade, and I really like the point he brought up. He was talking about gray models, and he was saying, yeah, you'll like this, Russell. So he was saying he's glad he kept his models gray, because when he played his Crusade, he kept getting ideas on, like, based upon what his models were doing, how he wanted to paint them. I'm like, okay, that's a really cool idea. So I think that goes in my list of like when it's okay to have like gray models. I mean, first off, you can always have gray models. No one can tell you what to do with your property, right? But yeah, playing like an escalation crusade where you start off when you have your 1,000 points, but you know you start off at like 500 and you go up and up and up. It's kind of cool if your models are gray because you don't know what you want to paint them as yet. You know, then you're like, oh, that gives me an idea. You know, you can like model and paint them however you want. Or based upon like their actions. Actually, I think it's pretty cool. One thing I did, and at the time I didn't have any gunpla markers, Russell, so I did it with a toothpick. But back in 7th edition, I ran a naval pioneer squadron. And so instead of Lehman Russes, I used Valks, and I used door gunners on my Valkyries, but my Vendettas didn't have door gunners. But my door gunners, every time they got a kill, I would actually get a toothpick and put it in white paint. I'd actually put like a little tally mark on the sliding door right by the door gunner, you know, so I'd actually keep track. I'd actually just keep track each time my door gunners actually killed a model. You know, I'd put a little tick mark on them. So that's always pretty cool. I'd bust out some Valkyries. Same thing on the Vendettas. When they killed a Stampa one time, I had 2 of them. They kept doing runs during an Apocalypse game, and they actually dropped a Stampa. So I put like a little Orc skull decal like on each one of the Vendettas. Yeah. Alright, let me keep going. I should definitely be able to finish this truck and at least get a good jump start on the 3rd truck. But, you know, hey, at least now I know. Well, at least now everyone knows why I usually don't stream during the week. But it's a good problem. Like I said, I'm happy to be employed. I have a good job. I work hard at it, but I get paid for my trouble, so I like that. But yep, this is unfortunately why I don't stream during the week. Hey, what's going on, Larkin? It's all right, Larkin. I was gonna stream for a long time, but I only have about an hour. I just saw my text. My boss just confirmed I got called back into work, so I got about an hour to stream. Yeah, so I usually paint and stream, or I usually paint and kit basher and Morty and stream, but you know I saw he was sick, so I'm like, well, you know I'm painting and kit bashing anyways. Let me try and stream while I do it. And I was all excited. I was all set up to do like a nice long 12-hour stream. You know, I was sitting here, I'm like, hey man, I got my beer ready, I got all this stuff ready, I can do all sorts of cool stuff, and then I got a text from my boss like, hey, we need you back at work. I'm like, alright. Two things I don't say no to are free donuts and overtime. Well, there's a 3rd, but you know, don't want to get weird about it. Fix your boss back. Tell him you're stuck on the toilet. Yeah, for 12 hours. I secretly think he might know about my alter ego on my YouTube account, where he's like, "Oh, he wants to stream, huh? I'll show that guy." Now, my boss is actually really cool. Alright, we got little nitro tanks. Yeah, we're just about done on all the major work on this truck. There's some smaller stuff I gotta touch up later on, like I think like the Grot's nose and some super small stuff, but no. I mean, no, it's not. Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, this one, I think I'm just about done with all the details on this one. Let me take a look at, yeah, I think there's one last thing I gotta finish painting the fuel tank. I'll be done with all the major stuff, and then we'll get started on the third truck, the Face Crusher. Yeah, so Mad Larkin, I'm going to try and play my first game of Warhammer 40k here pretty soon, hopefully. I'm going to try and play at the 500 point level. And as much as I love Cult of Speed and I want to do Speed Freaks, I think for my first game, I'm going to keep it simple. I think I'm just going to have a mech boy as my warlord. I'm going to have 3 trucks and 3 groups of boys, you know, choppas with rocket launchers. And run them as like Green Tide. You know, just that way the rules are nice and simple. Yeah, Warhorde doesn't sound bad, but I was like, just because I'm literally just running boys and trucks, you know, I'm like, you know what? Let me take a look at Green Tide. I'll take a look at Warhorde. I'll see what's better. I just wanted to go for what's simplistic. So I figured if I have, you know, 30 boys with rocket launchers and choppas with Green Tide, it's gonna be pretty damn. You know, I said not just good. I'm not trying to be like meta, but it'll be easy to play a 500 point game. You know, I don't have to worry about anything like, oh, the boys are probably gonna not survive, but that 5 up and vulnerable at 10 people, or at least 6 up if there's less than 10. That's not bad. But yeah, I'll take a look at Warhorde. I'll see what's best. Yeah, I want to figure out like, hey, what's easy to play, what's get used to it. But yeah, once I'm able to bring in my buggies and my bikes, I got some bikes in today. I got 8 bikes in, which is nice. But once I get my buggies in, then we're making the jump over to Cult of Speed, because then I'll actually have speed freak units. Alright, for the most part, that's the most details done on 2 trucks. So yeah, so I'll show you. So we have Blood Drive, Goliath, nice and done. Room in the back for someone to ride in. And you guys will see me playing around with Speedwagon. So Speedwagon's pretty simple and easy. And now we have Face Crusher. Like I said, this was a eBay. I saw a Chaos Rhino unbuilt. Had 2 holes up here. This was glued shut, and the ramp was broken. But it was just a Chaos Rhino. So I got it. Obviously, I put an Ork gunner in there with a big shooter. I got an Ork driver. He's got his. I just learned what these are. These are stick chuckas. An automated stick bomb launcher. That's awesome. He's also got some extra ammo pouches up here. I got different little orc scrap pieces of metal on the front. I got orc skulls over the headlights, which is actually I thought was kind of cool. Going to the back, you know, I kept the ramp down for easy jumping on and off. You got grots back here. You got one hanging out here with 2 revolvers ready to cap somebody, and you got one guy with a rifle. You even have a little decided to put a spotlight back here for help the Gretchen shoot, you know, because like I said, I love 15 hours. I know there's no such thing as a Gretchen sniper, but 15 hours is one of my favorite book. So I got a little Eldar head hanging in the back. And that's really it. It's just like little just like little orc symbols here and there. So I need something to put on the front. I'm still not sure what I'm gonna do, like a dozer blade or something. But I left it plain until I figure out what exactly I want to build up there for now. Thanks. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It turned out like a lot of fun. I actually had a lot of fun with it. I think it looks kind of proper orky. I figure rhinos are super common, so they would definitely have one. And I liked opening the hatch, so I can put the model in. Like I can let me grab my finished mech. You know, so I have my warlord, my finished mech. Literally just pop him. Just pop him right in there, you know, so you can tell there's somebody in it. You can tell what squad is. Easy to get in and out, nothing too crazy. And one piece that got super useful is this is the footrest to the truck, and so I just put it as like extra side armor for the gunner. It's pretty good. He was an eBay orc, so the gunner was a eBay rescue orc with a big shooter, and then I used another orc and just kind of built him halfway in the turret. So you can actually see he has his arm, so you can see his arm is actually underneath where the controls would be, you know, where his face is above. And I wanted to put, I didn't know this was an automated grenade chucker. I thought it was just like a grenade rack, you know. So I wanted him to be able to like pull a grenade and throw it at somebody. That's why I also have the ammo pouches here too. But even better, apparently it's a grenade chunka, so that's even cooler. Mad Larkin, my next idea is I was gonna do a battle wagon. So I'm gonna have multiple battle wagons. So I was gonna do a battle wagon using the Cargo 8 from Necromunda, and and for the turret for that, I was gonna use the turret from a Orks. And then I was gonna take the two wheels off of my standard truck and put those on the front of the Orks, turn the Orks into a half track with an open back, you know, and then take the turret off the Orks and put that on top of the Cargo 8 and turn that into a battle wagon. So the problem is Orks, apparently they're useful now for the Imperial Guard, so they are super thin on the ground. I cannot find a Orks to save my life. I was gonna build a really cool little Orks half track. Kind of not really. It was just gonna be a perfect like 2 kits, 2 vehicles kind of thing, you know, or it's like I was gonna get the most out of both kits. I think I have a turret I can use for the Cargo 8. I'm still not sure how I'm gonna do that one yet. I gotta take a look at it. Especially because I'll be doing a lot of Crusade, so I really do want all my trucks to look different. Especially because I'm doing Crusade, you know? Makes it easier to keep track of both the boys and the trucks. Yeah, and that's what I'm end up thinking, Larkin. I'm thinking I'm going to have to just 3D print my 4th and possibly 5th truck. Oh, you're talking about a 3D printed Orks? Oh yeah, that'd be great. I feel bad. You're already 3D printing me so much, man. I don't want to add to the list. no idea why I painted his pistol. It's a Zendari dust. I didn't need to. There we go. I got a lot of it off. So I paint the Orks, give them another base coat of Zendari just because it's easier to paint the scheme I have. I know how the colors react to Zendari dust base, so that's why I go back and get these guys with this. Sending you a Chimera, but no back half. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, so the Chimera will be a great truck. Yeah, I don't even need the Torox then. I would say I can just scratch build a turret out of like plastic card and some other stuff. I mean, that's not a big deal. Yeah, a Chimera with no back half. That's the other thing I was thinking about is using like a Hydra, and we talked about this. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Yeah, no, Larkin, you're good. Yeah, if you already sent me that Chimera, man, we're good. Yeah, I won't need a fourth truck for a hot minute. Like I said, I think 3 trucks takes me all the way up to my 1,000 points. Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely. If you have extra, sure. That'll be what I do to, because like I said, I'm excited to build a battle wagon out of that cargo 8. I think that looks super Mad Maxy, you know, with the 8 wheels and the cargo and everything. That looks super cool. I have a lot of 3D. Like I said, I don't mind having 3D printed models. It's like also like kit bashing some out of the OG stuff as well. Trying to see how much on this third truck I can get done before I gotta head back to work. Yeah, that's something that I was told ahead of time that I would enjoy about the Orks, and people were exactly right. I mean, I haven't played them yet, but just the kit bashing alone in these guys has been an absolute blast. Because some of their boxes are still decent value, or you can do a lot with what you get. Like the Gretchen box is great. It comes with, like I said, I don't plan on running them. I know they're useful. I understand the meta about how you can use them to like try and get CP points. I get that. I do. And I understand its effectiveness. Not denying it, but that's not how I'm going to play my army, you know, or how I don't want to. So I decided to use my Gretchen, you know, for other kind of stuff. And so one of the things I wanted to do is I got, you know, the box comes with like 20 of the little bastards, and I needed some for, I'm saving some for Grot Orderlies for my Pain Boys, you know. And I'm saving some for ammo runs, you know, in case I want to run knobs. And, but other than that, you know, the rest of my have, I'm just using as, you know, decor for the trucks, you know, because it has that ability where they act as like up in the rigging of the truck, you know, trying to repair it and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, let me actually show these guys, you know, that we can definitely tell it's an Ork vehicle. And kit bashing these guys, kit bashing these Orks in general, has been an absolute blast. And it's not done. I think, like I said, so one of my next purchases, when I need a vast increase in boys, I think what I'm going to do, just so they don't look the same, is I'm going to get the Ork mob. I think that's what, yeah, I think they're called Ork with a C. Ork mob from the old world. It comes with about 31 Orks, including a musician and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to grab them because they come with a lot of good bits too. A lot of cool, for their shields, they come with so many cool emblems. Those are going to go all over the trucks and stuff. But I'm going to take those guys, and I ordered a whole bunch of extra choppas and sluggas. I'm going to convert them over to boys. Just to get some variation, you know. And the value's not bad. I think it's 31 Orks, you know, for like 70 bucks. Should be 70 bucks US is what I'm seeing. I'm not saying GW is good value. With inflation, I don't think they've ever, I mean, so with inflation, I think the boxes of troops have stayed roughly the same. With inflation, what I think the characters are where they get you. Just like how I love Bolt Action and Conflict 47, the models are decently priced, but the order dice are expensive as hell, and the books are still pretty pricey. So with GW, the books are pretty pricey, but they charge you a lot for the characters. Like, one model, doesn't matter if it's plastic, metal, resin, it shouldn't be 26, 30, 45 bucks. That's insane. Especially when you can just kit bash that model. You know, like if you need a Primaris Lieutenant. I mean, sure, there's some cool sculpts, but you need a 3D print it or kit bash it. If the individual models were priced more reasonably, I think that would help a lot. And you don't have to worry about, like, well, it's a more powerful unit, so therefore, you know, how good it is on the tabletop affects its price. Well, that's kind of a weird way of doing things, and plus, people are just going to 3D print anyways. How's the weather over by you, Larkin? Has it gotten better? Is it still, like, you know, snowed in and frozen? Wow, that's a drastic shift. Wow. That temperature definitely gotten better. Ooh, keeping an eye on the time. We are doing good on time. Yeah, sadly, that's my life. It's kind of like a duality. I'm super laid back because I still work the weekends, but I only work like one job the weekends kind of thing, you know, so I'm usually not on call for stuff. But that was the downside during the week. But now I know. I was always curious, like, why don't I try and stream on the weekends, you know? Or during the week. I'm like, yeah, this is why. But definitely not a complaint. It is a great problem to have. Happy to be employed. Happy to be in a place where I can make overtime. Because that is how I fund my plastic crack, like rescuing rhinos for 30 bucks on eBay and turning them into a truck. One thing I like so far is that in my 3 trucks, all 3 gunners are different. The actual official Ork truck has like a pintle mount. The guy on top of the Goliath is literally just moto surfing and just basically shouldering a big shooter with a drum mag. And then you have this guy who actually has like a 2-point sling over one shoulder. It's kind of cool. Or as they call it in the industry, it's called free gun. You know, when you're not on a T&E mechanism or you're not on, you know, a pintle mount, you're just basically free gun. One thing I like about this gunner and the gunner I was able to put on the Goliaths, I was able to fit their backpacks full of rounds. Yeah, I kind of wanted to like take out the benches and the weird like tech in there, but I'm like, it's gonna be a lot to get in there. I was like, I'll just leave it in there. It's not a big deal. I'm still able to put my guy in there. It's not really interfering with my stuff. I don't want to get all crazy and start like ripping stuff out. But yeah, I remember hearing about the old rule where it used to be as many boys as you can fit in the truck it could carry. You know, when they fell out, that took damage. Cause I remember, because everybody, I used to hear about this because everybody would just bring like, I think I remember reading and seeing it on Daka Daka. Everybody would just bring Tonka toys, just straight up converted Tonka toys, dump trucks. That's what we're doing right now is we're prepping the Orks. Sorry about that. So for these two orcs, I'm actually gonna make this two friends of the channel, and they're both buddies. And so I'm actually gonna give them Space Marine helmets as like hats, you know. So one's gonna be wearing one Space Marine helmet, one's gonna be wearing the other. Thought it was kind of funny. Oh wait, almost like commandos, you know. They're both kind of like just poking out over the top of a rhino. Like you look at it from far away, you're like, oh, it's just maybe a blood angel rhino or a blood raven rhino. Like let's see who's red, and then they see like the little helmet sticking out. It's actually orcs. Hey, what's going on, Bad Rabbit? Yeah, we did we tried to do a, bonsai, buddy. We tried to do a real quick little, daylight stream in the middle of the week. I was gonna paint for a long time too, but unfortunately I got called into work, so I'll just be finishing up this hour and probably signing off. We finished the other truck. Oh, nice. Your curry box is on the way. I think you're going to like it, man. I hear good things about it. Hey, nope. I appreciate it, Mad Larkin. Absolutely no rush, buddy. You're doing me the favor, so take your time. Like I said, I'm just glad all the guys that sent you there didn't get destroyed. I'm glad they showed up in decent repair. So list building, it's the hard part, but I think it's also one of the more rewarding parts of bolt action, because that's it. You can't take everything, so it really is a risk reward give and take kind of system, and that's one of my favorite things about bolt action. Not just the turn order, that's one of my other favorite things about bolt action. I did. So with that sale, those sales happen pretty often. Maybe not super often. Yeah, I reached out to some of the people who are interested, who are on the fence about it. If that'll be what kind of swings them, but we'll see. The other big sale they have, Bad Rabbit, is their hero sale for free is actually a really good deal as well. So for the crews. Yeah, I was lucky when I locked in the suite. I got it for a really good price. So that's what made it available for me. Usually I'm not a very bougie person, but like I said, the other option was renting the conference room by the hour, and that costs a decent amount. And what I don't like is the conference room looks like a conference room with no windows. So I'm like, what's the point of playing on a cruise ship, if we can't see out and see the ocean? So that's why I figured we'll do the bolt action events in the library, and then I'll run the Conflict 47 demo games while we're docked. I'll run those in my living room with my suite and the balcony. That way we can literally go back and forth, have warm Caribbean air coming in, sunshine, all that fun stuff. Painting the Orks gold on the front of the Rhino. I'm glad I helped you out, man. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad it's possible. Yeah, we so far, if you're not sure if the person you're bringing, Bad Rabbit, I'm not sure if they're also playing in the bolt action event or not. If they are, that's already 4 people. So that's 4 out of 6. I'm always on board as a possible player if need be, which would bring us up to 5 if we get nobody else. It's still pretty nice. But yeah, embarkation day can be a little hectic. You're gonna be a little hectic once you check in inside the terminal, and then once they allowed you to board. Once you're on board the ship, everything goes super smooth. You on your way to your room, they'll tell you where you're gonna do your where your muster area is in case there's an emergency. So you know where to muster. And there may or may not be like a lifeboat drill. And then from there, you're good. I want to say, from the second I boarded the ship, I had a margarita in my hand. Taking like 5 minutes. So, I had priorities. Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, we already I was looking for 6 players. So we already have 4 out of the 6. So that's going to be great. And this is the other big reason why I want to keep it down to 500, because I figure it's going to be easier to pack for those who are flying and also just getting on and off the ship. So I'm trying to paint the things like the skulls and all the other stuff. I'm going to be painting different colors. I'm trying to already give them a, go back over the red spray paint and give them a Zendari dust base. That way I know they're easier to paint and how they'll turn out. The only thing about contrast is that are really, contrast, I like speed paints / contrast paints. It's not a downside, but the only thing about them is that they're really reliant upon their undercoat. I'm learning more and more as I paint and as I finally listen to Sean and Mad Larkin. So I'm learning more and more. They're relying upon their base coat. I'm pretty sure card will be okay. Yeah, so card is okay. Me personally, I did a lot of international traveling, so I'm a cash guy. And like I'll bring out cash, and I'll have a certain, like, it's just this is just me. This is how I enjoy it. This is how I like drinking, especially at a bar. Again, it's just my own style. Is I'll pull out the cash that I want to spend that night at the bar, and I'll keep that in my pocket. I'll buy my first drink. I'll tip very well. And then I just buy my drinks. That way, in case I get a little bit drunk later, once I run out of cash, I'm done. Like, okay, cool, that's it, I'm good. I'm gonna head back up to the room. But to answer your questions, drinks run anywhere from about, I think it's like, the prices should be available on the website, I think, but I think it was like $6-7 beers maybe, and I think mixed drinks were like $10. So like usually like a standard margarita, rum and coke, I think those will run you about $10. They do have drink packages. You do save a decent amount on the drink packages. It's not unlimited because it's only 2 days. If you put like an all-you-can-drink package on a 2-day cruise, it would be absolute anarchy, and people's BAC would rival their GPA. It would not be good. You're safe with both cash and card. You're perfectly fine. The Bahamas, they accept the US dollar just about everywhere. You don't have to swap over to the local currency. You can if you want, but you don't have to. If you do go ashore, there's generally like little merchant shops like right past customs. It is usually easier to haggle with them when you're talking cash. But there can be an issue sometimes with cards. Only reason I say this, I heard it from some people. Most people I hang out with, a lot of us all use the same thing. We all use USA and some other different stuff because we're military, or we've already contacted our banks ahead of time. You can use a card. It's just the only thing I would say is I would contact your card holder, whether it be a bank or a credit card, whatever it is. I would contact them ahead of time and let them know you're going to be traveling internationally to the Bahamas, and you'll be good to go. Same thing, like I said, I recommend a passport. If you don't have a passport, if you're a U.S. citizen, because of the, well, mostly because of the Jones Act, but because of the agreement with the Bahama Islands, because we're staying in the Caribbean, you can actually sail on just a birth certificate, but it has to be your OG birth certificate, so that can get a little weird. And it takes longer to embark, so if you are doing the passport, I recommend definitely getting to the port the second it opens, and getting in line as fast and as soon as you can, being one of the first ones through, because it's going to take a long time. Yeah, and like I said, for these vehicles, I'm going for like, you know, speed and ease of painting. So that's why I'm hitting these vehicles with a spray primer of red, because that's going to cover most of my vehicle. All I got to do is like the tires, all the Orks and Gabos or Gretsch, and you know, all their gear and stuff like that. So still covers most of the surface area. So I'm pretty happy with that. That being said, I'm about to try a tip from Old School Cutter Sean. I'm about to bust out some pink, and that's what I'm gonna do to do the grenades and the because I like paint my grenades yellow, you know, so they explode more. So I'm gonna do the spotlight and the grenades in pink. That way, when I go back and I hit it with a yellow, I'll give it a better coat. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with that area, so I can't give you any hotel recommendations. I apologize for that. But the Faster the Chill, yeah, I'll be purchasing that as well. Actually, I think I did. I think I already purchased that as part of my room. But that is the one upgrade I do recommend to everybody. There's all sorts of cool stuff you can add. I had great experience with it, and again, everything's subject to change. When I did it, you still got access to the VIP area at the terminal for check-in. And the cool part about that, I'm not sure if it still applies. I think it does. I'll call and ask. And now I'm blanking on her name. It's Nanette. Yeah, Nanette. I thought it was Nanette. Yeah, so I'll check with Nanette to see if we still get access to it. But one of the cool parts about the Faster Chill is in the embarkation terminal, you get access to the VIP area. And the cool part about that is the regular area is perfectly fine. You know, it's just a bunch of chairs, you know, and it's perfectly fine. But the VIP lounge area, it has tables, chairs, it has, you know, a coffee urn. They have coffee already going for you. They have ice cold water. There's like little danishes and little snacks. And you get the board first too. So it was a night, and that's really nice. And I'm not gonna lie. On the second day when you're getting off the ship, you also get to disembark first. You know, except for people who need like emergency disembarkment or some other kind of stuff, you know. But usually you get to disembark first, so it's pretty cool. You know, everyone's all lined up with their suitcases ready to go, and you get to like go first. It's kind of nice. So I'll check with her and see if that's still in effect. I believe it is, because the price has gone up for it. Unfortunately, the price for the Faster to Chill has definitely increased from what it was last time. But the good thing about the Faster to Chill package is it's per cabin, not per person. So that's why, especially if you're traveling with another person, if there's two of you, I highly recommend it. And you also get Wi-Fi on 2 devices. Where that came in handy is, you know, because you may not be able to text if you're in the middle of the open water, you know. So both my wife and I, you know, used our Discord, and we're able to still stay in communication. So a lot of people don't think about that, or a lot of people, you know, don't get an international plan on their cell. That's the other thing too. Once you get on the ship, like once we leave U.S. waters, and I'll remind everybody once we're on the ship, once we leave U.S. waters, I highly recommend, depending on what you're, actually regardless of what it is, with your phone carrier, is I would put your plane in airplane. I'd put your phone in airplane mode. That way you don't get hit with roaming charges. You know. Some companies still hit you for like roaming charges and international fees and stuff like that. So that's never a good thing to come home to and see additional fees. So I tell players put your phone in airplane mode. And then with the faster to chill, you get Wi-Fi and 2 devices on the whole ship. So then you can just pop it into Discord and we can be like, hey guys, we're gonna meet here at like, you know, this time, and just checking in with stuff. We have a way to kind of check in with each other. I know pink grenades looks kind of weird, but hopefully it's a much better base coat for doing it in yellow. All right. Let's start getting these guys painted green, because green is the proper orky color. Ooh, let me get that tan right there. I missed the spot. Alright, sorry about that, team. I just sneezed like 3 or 4 times. Ooh, that was crazy. Glad I wasn't painting when I sneezed. Hey man, I'm glad you're excited. I'm excited too. You know, it's kind of crazy to put together like my first big like real event, you know? And it be something absolutely as crazy and almost unheard of as like a tabletop tournament at sea. Like I said, I think there's another one. When I announced it, you know, I tried to keep, because I don't want anyone to steal my idea, so I kind of want to keep it under wraps, but then I heard someone else doing something called Battle Barge, which is like a 40K one, you know, but it's on a bigger cruise ship. It is a lot more expensive for a room. You even have to pay for the event, which I don't like, you know, so. But it's super cool that some other people thought the idea was not only sounded fun, but also sounded crazy enough to like risk their time and money on it, so I appreciate it. I know it's not cheap, so I appreciate that. But I'm trying to make it a decent vacation. No, what's going on, Grimton Tim? No, I was gonna try and do a middle of the day crazy 12-hour stream to get some orcs done. Because usually the stream I watch, I paint and build while I watch, but he's sick, so I'm like, oh, you know what? Why don't I just try? You know, but now I know why. I actually got a call to head back into work, you know, and I don't like turning down overtime, so. I have a few minutes left, unfortunately. Grimton Tim, I'm going to be calling the stream here in about 15 minutes. But we got the Speedwagon truck done, and then we started working on our third truck, which is the old face crusher here, a converted Rhino. It's actually a lot. This was a lot of fun to kit bash and build. So. So yeah, this is just a bonus stream, so it's kind of fun. This weekend we will be going back to our usual bolt action Conflict 47. I'm gonna be jumping right back into my American MPs, getting them ready. So I think we'll probably be putting 50 cals on Jeeps and trucks and getting those painted up. That's probably what's on the docket for this weekend. I just want to try something crazy, you know, see what happens if I did a middle of the week stream, and life reminded me. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Lesson learned. I appreciate it, Grimton Tim. I don't know if it'll be that, but I will say this, it will be profitable. And, I think it'll be a fair exchange of my time for, financial compensation on their part. So, that's all I can really ask for. I try and spend my time wisely. Sometimes I exchange it for additional financial compensation. Sometimes I exchange it hanging out in the stream, painting with you guys and chatting. And they're both good uses. Hey, Commander, what's going on, buddy? It's hard to have a favorite truck. Like I said, the standard truck is cool and all. I really like the Goliath truck, but the more and more I handle this and look at it, I really like the converted Rhino. I didn't do a lot to it, so it's not like a super crazy conversion. I think I still have more to add, like some kind of like battering ram in the front, you know, but sometimes just the simple stuff is nice. I'm gonna be excited to finally build, to scratch build and kit bash a battle wagon. That's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, not bad. We were able to get some lighter things primed. The grenades are primed pink, and so is the spotlight. I'm going to go back and hit those in yellow. We got the Eldar head in the back primed. We got the Grots primed. Vehicle itself is primed. We got the leather satchel by the driver primed. We got the driver himself primed. The gunners even already got green on them, and we got both the Ork skulls over the headlights primed. Oh my god. Oh man, if they had that, that'd be even better. Yeah, that'd be cool to have an actual like Luda sprue. That would be really neat. You know, come with like three grots. You know, like maybe 2 orc torsos, a big Shuda, some other kind of small stuff. They could easily sell it for like 25, 30 bucks, you know? Yeah, I use some of the stuff from the trucks and from the boy kits and stuff like that, you know? You can even see stuff like this. Small little extra armor bits. Alright, sadly, it was a short stream. It was supposed to be a long one. It was supposed to be a long emergency stream. I wanted to get like up to 500 points painted. But, sadly, I appreciate it, Bad Rabbit. Maybe one day I might, you know. But, sadly, we're gonna have to call the stream here to a close a little bit. I have been called elsewhere. But luckily, this is why I'm able to stream the way I am on the weekends, because it's so outside of the hours of operations for my job. There's no way I can be called in. So when I say like, hey, I can stream from, you know, 2 a.m. Eastern to 4 or 6 a.m. Eastern, I'm actually able to do that because that time is pretty protected. Unfortunately, if I try and stream anywhere else, I'm very prone to getting called in for overtime, you know, as we well learned today, sadly. But again, it's a good problem. Never upset about working overtime. Happy to work. I think we got a lot of cool stuff done. I said surprisingly, we finished the majority of work on one of the trucks. We even figured out the basing for the army. I finally got the formula for the basing knocked down. For you guys who are looking at this, you want to know how this, not that it's a good basing, mind you, but how this basing is done. It doesn't look good, but it looks better than just plain Zandari dust. It looks like it's complete. Like I said, not good, but complete. So what it is I hit it with Zandari dust usually as a spray primer. Then I use this technical paint, this Badlands. I use this to hit, and I glue cork down. So these little rock pieces are just cork that I cut up and glued down. I hit the cork with this. I hit the cork with this Badlands technical paint. And then I cover the both the once that dries, that technical paint, I cover both the cork with the technical paint and the inside of the base with this contrast dunes. And then I just rim the base and brown. So that's what gives you almost like this Java style, like almost like coffee grounds style look of like a Badlands, you know? Yeah, it's not the best here. I got a better version to show. So you can see it's not exactly like just sprayed Zandari dust. It's got a little bit more color variation to it, you know, but it looks just looks a little bit more complete. So yeah, actually some of this cork actually did come from rum. I sat down and polished off a few bottles that were like basically just wounded soldiers and started using that cork too. So luckily got plenty of cork for it. So for those of you guys who are, I'm used to saying this because, you know, the time zone's different, so I guess I gotta have a different sign off here. So, for those of you who are going to bed, I'm not sure how many people are going to bed this early, but, you know, hey, hope you do get a good night's sleep. I hope you're able to make it to the Tiki time this weekend. We'll be having fun. For those of you guys who are going to be just like me and heading into work, for those of you guys going to work with me, or for those of you currently at work, probably like Matthew. I think Matthew's at work. You know, for us, I hope it's a great day at work. You know, I hope nothing crazy happens for us. You know, I hope it's a very profitable yet fun day at work. And as always, I hope you guys stay safe, stay hydrated, and don't forget to relax today, because you're on Tiki time.
Shipwrecked soldiers on Moto sand, time to the rifles in hand. Hula gals with summer smiles, no war drums, just beach for miles. Ghost Park by Tiki lights, shadows dance in tropic nights. Sand beneath where boots once stood, paradise ain't so misunderstood. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons. Forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands. Bunkers built from palm and hope, coconuts and crude soap. Imperial dreams fade in sun, warriors turn beach bums. Shine to ocean gods we raise, praying for forgotten days. Sake in the campfire glow, life's a surfboard, ebb and flow. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons. Forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons. Forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with time.